This is our card of the day. I'm Sora Lux. Using the Thoth Tarot White Box B, I pulled the Seven of Cups. So we have another card today many people consider a bad card, but there are no bad cards, or even bad perspectives, but there are less beneficial and more beneficial perspectives. And remember, this card is not making anything bad happen in your life for you to fear. It's only pointing out something that is already there or will be soon. It may not be pleasant, but it's there, and by bringing our attention to it and applying the lessons of the card, we may be able to transmute the energy, experience, or habit it's pointing out that causes us pain and keep us from having to learn that lesson over and over again. Then the card tends to show up less in our spreads too. On the card, we see 7 cups in the shape of the tree of life, but missing its supernal triad, overflowing with the putrid, stagnated water. Wilted lotuses adorn each cup, and they all sit in an equally putrid water of filth. The whole card is a glyph of emotional and moral corruption, or as Crowley states, it is a wholesome reminder of the fatal ease with which a sacrament may be profaned and prostituted. This card rules the 3rd decan of Scorpio and is attributed to Venus in Scorpio, where it is in its detriment. The energies in this card are ill-dignified and placed. Venus cannot express its sensitive, loving energies in the darkness of Scorpio, and thus they transmute into slowly negative expressions, addictions, and neuroses. Kabbalistically, on the Tree of Life, this card occupies the Sephirah of Netzach, or Victory, Eternity, in Briah, the world of creation. Netzach is ruled by Venus, so the double energies of Venus here being pulled deep into the darkness by Scorpio leave the fantastical and illusory dreamy energy unchecked, ungrounded, and ill-expressed. Scorpio tends to collect, intensify, and repress emotion, and this card often shows up when we are doing the same and having issues allowing our emotions to flow through us and be expressed in a healthy way. Venus is the lower octave of Neptune and is earthly love. It has an association to Lucifer and the so-called false light. This card often points to issues with false pleasure from overeating, sex addictions, drug addictions, and alcoholism. Or just like Crowley says of Venus, this card is external splendor and internal corruption. But it can also point to toxic relationships with codependent habits. So once again, we get a message for some watching about a toxic relationship that is emotionally putrid like the waters in these cups. The relationship itself may involve drugs, codependency, verbal abuse, physical abuse, or again lack depth and a healthy intimacy. It is best to leave those situations and figure out what got us into it to begin with so we don't repeat the mistake, which is something else this card represents. Not learning our lessons and repeating the same mistakes, like bad relationships and bad habits that we keep going. And for the group of people watching that we had messages about long-term depression the last several days, this card is a warning about a potential for self-harm in the most extreme case. If you or a loved one is struggling with depression or mental health, please reach out to a professional and get help. You deserve to have a good life, no matter what mistakes you've made or what circumstances you're in. There are so many people who love you just for being human, not because you had to earn it, prove your worth, or act any certain way. There are people who will love you exactly as you are and want to help you, want you to feel love and peace. I know the mind can convince us otherwise, and other traumatized humans can seem to confirm it. But there are people who care and reasons for living. The world needs you and your unique perspectives and gifts, so I hope you will fight the negative thoughts and feelings just enough to get help. Then you'll have people on your side rooting for you and helping to guide you through healing, feeling better, and actually believing in yourself and having a purpose. Other messages in this card include watching out for sickness in the body around this time. It gives a warning not to engage in illegal activities. You may have gotten away with something, but when this card shows up, you won't for long. This card asks us to look at our poor choices, destructive relationships, habits, and patterns. Otherwise, they may become long-standing and harder to break free of. For those struggling with drug addiction or alcoholism, Aside from addressing that issue in yourself, you need to be mindful of your lack of compassion for the emotions of others. If you are numbing and avoiding all your own emotions, it can be hard to be sensitive and understanding to the emotions of others, and that can break down relationships with people that actually do really love you. This isn't just true of addicts, but anyone who avoids their emotions in life. Not only do you deserve to feel the emotions of life in a balanced way with tools to cope with and express them, but you also deserve deep, meaningful relationships that can occur when you lack empathy for others. Addressing these issues will give you a life to be lived, not numbed and tolerated. For a small group of people, this isn't a terrible relationship, addictions, or destructive patterns, but just a warning that your emotions may not flow easily today, and it may take more conscious effort than most days to keep tuned into your emotions and express them healthily when they arise. That way, they don't end up repressed and intensified by Scorpio's darkness, causing more drama and issues later you could have avoided. Whatever negative emotions you have today, I hope you will remember the impermanence of their nature. Emotions come and go like waves, but your value, your worth, and your purpose are infinite and unwavering. To whoever needs to hear this, you are loved and you can get through this. What negative emotions or situations do you find hardest to process? What new skills could you learn to help in these areas? Thanks for watching. Follow to make sure you don't miss the upcoming cards of the day. 93s.